Well, you know, our reporters play such a role here. They've been sending us just some jaw-dropping images of the plane crash near Buffalo, and one of them, our reporters, is Blake Walker, who's on the phone with us right now. Blake, I understand that you are in Clarence Center where this happened and that you live just a couple of miles from this street. What did you see when you got there?
I arrived on the scene about an hour after the crash had occurred, and it was just smoke everywhere, and you could see the glow of the flames for a couple miles away. I have some friends that live on the street, so I was concerned, and that's why I headed over. It was just incredible. And
how close were you able to get? Because I understand the heat was just incredibly extreme.
I got about 75 yards from the crash site. You know, when I heard about it first, it was reported as a small plane, and I thought that it was going to be a 2 or 3 person private plane. But to get there and the smoke would, move around and the flames would, and I could finally make out the tail of the plane, which was, huge in comparison to the house.
Was that the only thing that was recognizable to you at that point? I mean, could you even tell that it hit a house?
No, I really couldn't from my vantage point. I walked across a field because I know the area, and I didn't want to get too close to anything that, might explode. And I didn't want to interfere with the firefighters who were doing such a heroic job.
How were people in the neighborhood dealing with it at the time?
Well, I approached through a field, so I really just had views of the firefighters. I didn't really interact with anybody on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm dumbfounded that just one home was destroyed when you hear about this. I would have to think, debris would fly. I'm trying to look at this picture here. We just saw a little bit of the plane there as far as we could tell. But I understand this neighborhood is a hamlet where homes are really close together. Is that right?
Yeah, they are very close together. And, it's probably one of the oldest villages in western New York. And it grew up with farm fields all the way around it. So that's how I was able to approach. And but the houses that are on the streets and in this little village are, maybe 15 yards apart. Mm-hmm. So we're used to seeing the, wreckage strewn for hundreds of yards. And I was really surprised to see it so contained.
Okay. Blake Walker, our reporter there, thank you so much for sharing the images that you took last night during this or right after this plane crash. It really gives us a good perspective of what the folks there were seeing. Thank you again, Blake Walker there. And when you have pictures or video of breaking news or cool stories from your part of the world, go to ourreport.com and click on the Upload Now link.